But the Republican National Committee, for example, now completely taken over by Donald Trump and his campaign, now reshaping its leadership with a lawyer who was at the forefront of all the lies about the 2020 election. Former Trump attorney and One America News Network reporter Christina Bobb has been hired as the RNC's, ready for this, senior counsel for election integrity. Bobb pushed conspiracy theories about the 2020 election, publicly urged then Vice President Mike Pence against certifying the election results on January 6th. She even authored a book titled Stealing Your Vote, the inside story of the 2020 election and what it means for 2024. Bobb, also known for playing a key role in Trump's classified documents case, telling the Department of Justice she had no knowledge about government documents at Mar-a-Lago. The FBI, of course, found a trove of materials there 2 months later. She has not been charged with any crimes. In a statement about her new role, Bobb said, quote, "I'm honored to join the RNC and thrilled the new leadership is focused on election integrity. I look forward to working to secure our elections and restore confidence in the process." So, Jonathan Lemire, you wrote an entire book about this called The Big Lie. Christina Bobb, not a passive participant. She, for example, was in that Trump command center at the Willard Hotel on the eve of January 6th, cooking up this plan with Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon and everybody else to effectively plot a coup against the United States government and compel Mike Pence to not certify the election.
I mean, you just ticked through her role with the classified documents case, but absolutely, she was a big part of the effort to try to overturn the 2020 election. She was a key member of the effort, the fake elector scheme, which is what they thought they could do on January 6th with if Vice President Pence, then Vice President Pence, had gone on with it. And in her time at OAN, she herself has been sued by Dominion.
Yes.
She herself, some of her stories on air segments have been referenced by Smartmatic in their ongoing litigation as well. I mean, she is one of the, fundamental characters in the plot to overturn the 2020 election, just like House Speaker Mike Johnson. And now, with all those qualifications on her resume, she's going to be Trump's lawyer, head of the RNC, to play this role here. For Trump, it's about looking the part. It's about perfect central casting. We know that, and it's about loyalty. And she has time and time again proven her loyalty to Trump by willing to spout the big lie.
Mike, utter shamelessness. In fact, this is almost trolling to have Christina Bobb, one of the central figures of the conspiracies about the 2020 election, named Officer of Election Integrity at the RNC, which, by the way, is now run by Donald Trump's daughter-in-law.
It's a perfect fit, though. A perfect fit for the times that they have created, that Donald Trump has created. And Claire McCaskill, I don't know about you, but I'm getting increasingly weary of people who scratch their heads and say, how did we get here? We know how we got here. We have one man who for at least 16, perhaps 20 years, has been out there on the public stump, increasingly getting more publicity and more publicity, preaching a combination of anger, fear, and lies, a toxic combination that inflames the culture around him. And he has done it successfully. And it's no wonder that every poll that's ever taken asking if the country is on a right track or a wrong track always wins because of the poison that he has injected into the political culture and into the social culture of this country. So my question to you is, are you surprised that we are where we are?
Well, I think I'm surprised that so many people are ignoring what's as plain as the nose on their face. I think I'm surprised that grievance is this powerful. I mean, here's what he is. He is a marketer of grievance with bold lies on a repetitive loop. And that combination has proven to be very politically powerful. Very disappointing that someone who lies in the name of grievance is as successful as he has been. But his failures in so many other ways are what drag him down. And one of those are the people he surrounds himself with. I think everybody needs to remember that the majority of his cabinet has rejected his candidacy this time. The majority, he said, I'm going to surround myself with really good people. He did to some extent, and most of them now are saying don't ever vote for Donald Trump. So what he surrounds himself with reflects on him. That's why he couldn't get things done in the presidency. And that's why he puts a really bad lawyer in at the DNC. I mean, this is a woman who did some really bad lawyering for him. Saying nothing of the fact that she swallowed whole a ridiculous lie and tried to perpetrate power in the face of a free and fair election. So, you know, this guy doesn't surprise me anymore. In fact, what I'm most worried about is we've become numb to how outrageous it is.
Yes, again, to the point that we were talking just yesterday about John Kelly talking about Donald Trump's affinity, obsession, wanting to be like, wanting to emulate Adolf Hitler.